Hi 7BM3, welcome to this week's maths video. This week you'll be glad to hear we're moving on from fractions. I know you love them so much. We're now moving on to some algebra. Now that word I think again makes people feel a bit but don't panic because we're going to break this down and you're going to recognise an awful lot of this week's work that we've done in school already. So we'll move on to some algebra in a second, but first, as always, we're going to start with the maths in Mrs. B's life. So here we are with the mental starter. Right guys, as always, maths in Mrs. B's life. The maths this week involve these two furry friends. Yes, we do still have three, but they've got an appointment with the vet next week. And the question was, what's the difference between the mass of the biggest one and the smallest one? So this is Biggie. Biggie is 842 grams. And this is White Chin, the tiniest one, and she's 676 grams. So the question is, what's the difference between their mass? So that's the question. To my beautiful assistant, off go the kitties. So we're now left having a look at this calculation. So Biggie is 842 grams. White Chin is 676 grams. What is the difference in their mass? Well, what are we going to do? Have a think. How are you going to find the difference between their mass? There's a few ways of doing it, but one way of doing it, which would be really good, would be 842 grams, that's Biggie's. And if I take away White Chin's mass, so that's 676 grams, I'm going to remind myself it's a subtraction. And if I then do this as a subtraction, I will find out what the difference between them is. So 2 take away 6, can I do that? Not quite. So I'm going to go to the tens column. I'm going to leave 3 behind, break 1, bring it over to the units. I've now got 12 units, take away 6, gives me 6 units. I've now got 3 tens over here, so 3 take away 7. Can I do that? No, I can't. So I'm going to go over here to the hundreds. I'm going to break them up, leave 7 behind, add 1 to this tens column, which leaves me 13 tens. Take away 7. That's going to leave me with 6. And then I've got 7, take away 6, which is going to leave me with 1. So my answer to the vet is going to be 166 grams using our column subtraction. So that's our maths in my life this week. So this week our tasks are all to do with simplifying algebraic equations. Now I think that title sounds so much more complicated than it is. We've done this in class. This is a bit of a review before we come to some new work after half term. So let's have a look. If you're given something, for example, like 3x plus 4x, we simply want to simplify that and add all the x's together. So let's have a look at some questions together and note down some answers. So let's take this first one, 3x plus 4x. Yes, there's x's, but we simply want to think about these numbers. If there's 3 of something and you add 4 of the same thing, it's 3 plus 4, so it's going to be 7x. So that's our answer. Some of your questions, they start off like this. You may see something like this because we don't have to just use x's in algebra. In maths, we can use any letter or symbol or sign. So you've got b plus 3b. Now remember, in maths, b actually means 1b. So x would mean 1x. So we do not write the 1. If there's only one of them, we do not write 1. Okay, so that is the same as that. So we've got 1b plus 3b is going to then give me 4b. You may see where something like this, where you've got more than one addition. You might have a few things to add together. Check that they're all the same. This is y, and this is y. So I can simply just add them together. I've got 1 again. Remember, 1y, add 7y is 8y. Add another 8 is going to be 16y. So they're pretty simple calculations. We've just got to check our additions and our understanding of the one missing when it comes to letters. If we then look at something where there's subtractions and additions together, I always think using a number line is really, really, really helpful. So if we start at our sum, now again we have to check, are they all the same? Y? So they're all Y's. We can just consider this as a sum. So I'm going to start at 9 because I have 9Y. So I'm going to start at 9. I'm going to follow the instructions. 9Y, take away 3Y. Well, it's 9 take away 3. So 9 take away 1, 2, 3 gets me to 6Y, of course. I'm not finished though because I've got to do something else. I've got to add Y. So I've gone this way subtracting. I'm going to go back this way and my answer is going to be 7Y. Okay, so 9Y, take away 3Y, gets me to 6Y, add on a Y again, gets me to 7Y. Let's try with another example. So 7Z, I'm going to start at 7 and I'm going to take away a Z. So forget that it's Z's, they're all Z's. Let's just do the numbers. 7, remember that means 1Z. So 7, take away 1Z, leaves me 6Z. But I've got another Z to take away. So take away another one and I get my answer as 5Z. Let's take a look at this last example. Again, I'm using a number line. Really, really easy to see this if you need to. 7B, let me check they're all B's. Yes, they are. So I can just do this as a sum. 7B, so I'm starting at 7. This is my starting point. Take away 4B. Well, it's 7, take away 4. 7, I'm going this way for subtraction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's asking me to take away another 4B. So I'm simply going to then 1, 2, 3, 4. And I get my answer. So I end up with minus 1B. And that would be my answer to these questions. Have a go. This is on the first sheet. Tasks 1, 2, 3 and 4 work on all of these principles. Good luck. Okay, year 7, we're now on to the second sheet of this week's work. And this moves on to this idea of collecting like terms. Still looking at algebraic equations and we're still simplifying them to make them look as easy as we can. But this time, we don't just have x's in the one equation, or we don't just have b's or y's. We might have 2 or more terms. So let's have a look at how do we try and make that look much nicer than it does now. That's all we're trying to do. So let's have a go. Here we are. Now I'm going to start off with 2 colours to start off with. So when we're collecting like terms, we have to have a look at what we've got. So I've got A's here, B's, no, I don't want them. A's, I'm going to collect, oh, stop. Right, year 7. That was me saying stop because I realised I'd made a mistake and I was going to try and get rid of that mistake, but I've realised I shouldn't. I should tell you what's wrong. I should have circled that. I should include the sign, whether it's a plus or a minus sign. So I just wanted to clarify that. So we should have got 7A, we've got plus 7A. I'm now going to change colour and this is B's. Any more B's? Yeah, this one. But you notice I've remembered this time I'm including the sign in front of the numbers. So now what I want to do is I want to deal with the A's first. So I have 7A plus 7A. That's going to give me 14A. Now I don't know the sign here yet until I do this next part. Let me deal with both of these. So I've got plus 5B, that's the same as 5B, add plus 3B. So 5B add 3B is going to be 8B, and it's all positive, so plus 8B. So for the first question, that is going to be the answer. Now, let's take a look at the second one. I'm not going to use 2 colours this time. I'm going to give you the way we did, just these boxes, the way we did in class. So let me start. I've got 3A. I'm looking for other A's. B, A, including the sign, 4A, and that's a B. I'm then going to use the same colour because that's what you would have in the classroom. And I'm going to put a box around plus 3b, and a box around minus 3b. And then let's take the circles, the a's first. So we've got 3a plus 4a is going to be 7a. And I've got 3b minus 3b. Oh, well, 3 of something, take away 3 of something, leaves me with none. I've got no b's, so my final answer is going to be 7a. Let's go to the last one. Again, I'm going to start circling 10a. Any more a's? Yes. I've got to include the sign. Then b's, I'm going to put a square around the b. Any more b's? Yes. Let's deal with these separately as we've been doing. 10a minus 4a, so 10 of something, take away 4, leaves me 6a. Let's deal with the b's. 4b plus b, so 4 of something plus 1 is going to give me 5b, and I know it's a plus because I've got plus 4b. Adding another one gets me a positive 5b, so I've got 6a plus 5b. So that is our collecting like terms. Now, I made a mistake. I was going to try and get rid of it. Actually, you're better to know we do make mistakes. Make sure you include that sign when you're doing this. Have a go. All of this is really important to see in your books. What I don't want you to do is take shortcuts, try and do it all in your head and come up with an answer. Okay, so good luck with this week's tasks. I think you're doing an amazing job. Keep up the good work, and I will be in touch after half term. So there are 3 again. This is the same 2 actually. Oh no, it's different 2. This is Tweety Pie now. So this is Tweety Pie. He's going to live with my sister, aren't you, Tweety Pie? To live with Sylvester the cat. Sylvester and Tweety Pie. Yes, I'm going to live with my children's cousins who can't wait to welcome Tweety Pie to their family. And this is wee one down here, and she's fast asleep. So, and Biggie is under the couch right now, chasing something. It's goodbye from them, and it's goodbye from me. Good luck this week, Year 7. Keep up the amazing work.